Welcome to the Miranda podcast. This week we are discussing Pilates, which we think is a powerful way in your 50s to get back in shape if you've let things go a little in your 40s. So, without further ado, Ray is going to answer some very pertinent questions from our listeners. Question number one is it too late to start Pilates if I've never exercised before?
Never too late to start any form of exercise. Your body is built to move. That's why we've got these lovely limbs. We are supposed to move on a regular basis because that helps our circulation, it helps our lymphatic flow. The more movement that you can do that's good movement, the more you're going to heal things in your body, the more you're going to keep your body safe and healthy, the more you're going to keep your brain activated. What I love about Pilates, which is why it's my go-to whenever I'm saying to patients, if you're going to start movement and I need you to start movement, start with Pilates, is because it's really, really safe. And there's so many different types of Pilates. You can have chair Pilates. So if your balance isn't particularly good or you're not able to get down onto the floor, chair Pilates is really, really safe to start with. And because we're going to be looking at activating the deep stabilizing muscles in our body and our core, when we've got a really, really strong trunk, everything moves off it much more easily and much more fluidly. So I wholeheartedly think everyone should be doing Pilates. It is one of the best medications that you can give your body.
Mhm. And if you had to tell women in their 50s which type of Pilates to do, because I know there's quite a few different types, which
Yeah.
one would you pick as a
Well,
beginner?
so it's different to Pilates. Is the Pilates schools are not the same as like the yoga schools, because the yoga schools, there's power yoga and there's slower yoga and there's hot yoga, etc. The different Pilates schools are just different people that have taken Joseph Pilates training and made it their own and then gone on to teach. And so the Pilates that I teach is the APPI Pilates, and that's much more therapeutic based. It's a physiotherapy led Pilates. And so what I like about that is it's specifically for people who might have some physical ailments, some problems. They might be rehabbing themselves. But it's like a lot of trainings. You find yourself a good teacher, somebody that you can trust. And I always suggest that people have a one-to-one with their teacher before they jump into a class. The teacher then will get to know your body, get to know your medical history really, really well, get to know what you can and can't do. And then whenever you're in that class, they're going to be able to help you navigate the class much more according to your ability and what you need to keep you safe and also to keep you progressing. So yeah, it's a bit different to the yoga schools, where just find a Pilates teacher that comes recommended, have a look on their website, have a chat with them. If you get the warm and fuzzies whenever you speak to them, then definitely go and have a one-to-one with them. But also give yourself a little bit of time to be a beginner in that class, so that you can actually see if you like the flavor of what they're teaching. But stay safe. That's the important thing is I think make sure that you feel safe.
And if you can't maybe afford a teacher or you can't afford classes or you don't feel confident enough to
Yeah.
join a class, what about YouTube?
Yeah, so I think like anything with YouTube, you also have to make sure then you're responsible and accountable for your own safety. So putting in things like beginners Pilates, Pilates for 50-year-olds if you're 50, something specific to you, Pilates for you people, anything that's going to be basic beginner, and then listen to your own self. If you think, oh, I'm not sure if I should be doing that, don't do it. Sit that one out until you get to the next until you get to the next exercise. But also try lots and lots and lots of different Pilates classes on YouTube. There are so many things that you can also pop into your phone. Just Pilates classes online. There's lots and lots of free content out there. Go on Instagram. There's some really good Pilates teachers that put lots and lots of lovely stuff out there. Really nice little simple classes that you just follow along. So yeah, I think just use your common sense, but ask your friends, because you'll probably find that a lot of your friends are doing Pilates.
Mm. Yeah. And can you just mention reformer Pilates? Because
Yeah.
I've
So
definitely
yeah,
heard of it, but don't know what
yeah.
it is.
So Reformer Pilates is absolutely fantastic, and I did Reformer Pilates back in 2006 with a second generation Joseph Pilates student. She was teaching at that point, and we started on the Cadillac, which I think was the one where you hang upside down a bit more. But I also did her class Pilates, and it's more different types of equipment. So you do have to go to a clinic for that, or to a studio for that. It is a bit more expensive. And I think that if you want to start with Pilates, just go and find yourself a Pilates mat class,
Right.
because all you probably don't even need to have a mat. They normally have mats for you, and you don't need to have any of their equipment like the little balls and magic rings and stuff. But the reformer Cadillac, I think there's a chair, but I can't remember the proper name for that. All of these will then push you a little bit harder, make the activity a bit more specific. It's a lot of fun, and it's really nice to try new things as well. But I think that if you're going to start, just start with something very simple, like a basic mat
Okay, so
class.
reformer is
Yeah.
once you've got the basics. So
Yeah, you can do reformer as a beginner, but you're going to be paying more money for it. You actually have to get yourself to a studio for it, and there's not that many studios around, and it
right,
can be a little bit. It's excellent. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very good for you, but it can be a little bit more cost prohibitive, which is not a problem for some people. But we're just trying to be general here, aren't we?
yeah, and it can hurt afterwards because I remember one woman told me she did her first reformers class, and she said she felt muscles she never knew she had the next
Yeah,
day.
I think that you can feel muscles you never knew you had, and I don't think that you want to be sore after your first few classes, because I think that, and it depends what type of soreness we're talking about, because pain in the body can signal damage. We know that. If you're talking about delayed onset muscle soreness, where you have some of the little fibers that have just torn a little bit, that is actually going to help build more muscle resilience and muscle strength. But I think that the first few times that you start exercising, just go in there, take it easy, and try not to hurt yourself.
To get confident. And
Well,
what
you
if
want to get
yeah,
confident. You want to come back. You want to come back to the class, don't you?
yeah, and if you're really sore, it's just gonna you make starting that habit more difficult because you're
Yeah.
getting punishment, not reward. So
I
it's
think also, yeah, and I think also taking away that no pain, no gain, that doesn't work anymore. I think we've realised that um, that is not going to make you feel any better. It's not particularly good for your body. And I think if a teacher is always talking about we need to go for the burn, etc., etc., if you're starting out, you shouldn't be aiming for that.
okay, question number 2 is why does my body feel so much stiffer now than it did in my 40s? And
Um,
I could totally have one of those
yeah,
this morning.
we have our estrogen changes, and that's going to change how our connective tissue is and how it feels. We're also going to find that we're going to get a little more fascial restrictions, and the fascia lines and goes through every part of our body. And certainly, as we get older, we hydrate less, we move less. We get little; those tend to get a little bit stickier, and we don't slide and glide. You're going to be doing a lot more sitting. You're going to be at a computer a lot more. You're going to be driving a lot more. You're going to be sitting, talking to people a lot more, and planning a lot more. And so you're not going to be moving quite as much as you would have done whenever you're younger. I think also we're tired. Whenever you're tired, you don't want to move quite so much, so our energy levels aren't quite so good. We also tend to find that we do lose muscle mass. We lose a percentage every year. Our bones start to thin. All of that makes us feel a little bit stiffer. And I think also, if we're talking about exercise, whenever people are exercising, we need to exercise differently in our 40s and our 50s than we did in our 20s. And I think that a lot of people don't change that. I think a lot of people still push themselves and are still quite ninja about it, like they were in their 20s. And I don't think we also feed ourselves as well as we should do. We need to change our nutrition, our hydration. We need to change what we do before we work out, maybe what supplements we take. We also need to be thinking a little bit more. So the old cardiovascular thing of, going out for a 30-minute run, that you would have done in your 20s and 30s that would help you to, calorie deficit, etc. We need to be looking at things more like HIIT, heavy lifting now, to help keep our bodies strong. Because if our bodies are nice and strong and mobile, we're going to feel a lot less stiff. But it's regularity. You've got to keep yourself accountable for the regularity. Plus, we also need to do more warming up and cooling down now,
Yeah.
because our bodies can't respond quite as quickly. This goes back to your muscles, your ligaments, and your tendons. So our body just generally feels a lot less elastic. And you only have to look at. I always say to people, if you see wrinkles on the outside, you're going to have wrinkles on the inside. So where we don't have the elastin and the collagen being laid down so much in our facial features, our bodies feel how we look. So and also we're going to more likely to be inflamed. And if we're inflamed in our systems, if we eat too much sugar, drink too much alcohol, don't get enough sleep. Sleep is the biggest thing that we need to be focusing on. Our body's going to be more inflamed, and we're going to feel tighter, more restrictive. than what we did in our 20s.
So you would say Pilates is a good way to reduce stiffness in the
So
body?
Pilates is really good because you're going to have compression length, the way you're contracting and relaxing the muscles. You're creating that lovely massage in and around the fascia. So you're going to help to unstick the fascia. And fascia is a really, really big buzzword at the minute, because as your fascia gets tighter and crinkles down, we get these little pockets of tightness around our body. You know, like it's always this right shoulder that's a bit stiff, or it's always this left side of my back. Those are areas where we're getting a little bit sticky in our fascia. What Pilates does is it makes you very strong in the middle, and then it allows you to work through your full range of movement with coordination and control, so that you start to re-access the full range of movement of your muscle contraction. And you're going to get your flexibility back, your mobility back. You're going to put space back into your body. But because you're also going to be bringing in some breathing on into that as well, layering the breathing on, you're going to be getting more oxygenation through your system. So that's also going to help whenever the oxygen goes into your blood and circulates around your system, you're going to get a much healthier system. So yeah, I think that Pilates is a game changer. And I certainly think that if you aren't doing Pilates in your 40s and 50s, you need to start getting one session in at least a week. And if you are starting to exercise at this point in life for the first time ever, you want to be doing a couple of sessions a week, and hopefully a mobility session. And I also think that it is the responsibility of anyone, and I think most Pilates teachers are really, really good, is to have a good warm up and a very good cool down.
Yeah, you're going to be putting those into the challenge, aren't you?
Very much so. Yeah.
Will it build muscle mass?
Yes. Yeah, because you tend to find that a lot of the movements tend to be we're looking at a little bit more endurance. So you might do 10 repetitions, you might do them 2 or 3 times. We are working muscles towards fatigue. You want to make sure that it does stay as comfortable as possible, I would say, for the first couple of weeks that you're starting to exercise, so that your body can kind of get used to it and get into the rhythm and get into the alignment. It will build muscle because you can also add weights into Pilates. You can also add bands into Pilates. And you can also take, what I love about the Pilates principles are you can take those Pilates principles then into any weightlifting or any other activity that you do. And certainly with the Pilates that we're going to be talking about, you want the Pilates to come out of the class and flow into every other part of your life. So whenever you get off your Pilates mat, you should get off in a much more controlled manner. You should get off with more fluidity. You should get off with more coordination. You should try and take that into getting into your car in a more coordinated manner, getting out of the car, going into work in a more coordinated manner. Whenever you're walking down the street, you're walking straighter, your posture is better, your shoulders are more relaxed. um, Most Pilates teachers, well, pretty much all the Pilates teachers I've come across, are absolutely wonderful at reminding their students, take this off the mat and into your life, because that's what we're trying to do, is retrain you out of your bad habits and into your good
Yeah.
habits.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely heard that with yoga. So, what would you say is the main difference between yoga and Pilates? Because I'm sure a lot of people actually don't really know.
No, they
They
don't
might
have a
be
clue.
choosing between the two.
Absolutely. I don't think you have to choose between one or the other, because they're so different. Yoga is a philosophy and it's thousands of years old, and it's the movement part of it is only one small part of it, because it's a philosophy. It's actually about how you live your life in as positive a way as possible. So it's going to be looking at how you treat people, how you treat yourself, nutrition, how you look at the world, how you move in the world. And Pilates came from a lovely German man called Joseph Pilates, who taught himself how to move to make his body better, because he was a very weak and sickly child. And he was a prisoner of war, and he taught the other prisoner of war inmates how to move. And then he moved to America, and he started to teach a lot of the local dancers in New York. And him and his wife then went on just to teach hundreds of people, and then start to teach teachers. And so that's where it's come from. And he was very, 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 very strict with his Pilates and his movement, but he firmly believed that movement heals, and that physical movement is the first requisite of happiness. And I think we know ourselves that when your body's happy, that physical vehicle that we live in and that we move in and that takes us through our life, it can help a lot of other things to be happy. And if you've got body pain, um, that can that really drag you down and make life pretty miserable. Certainly, people with chronic pain, whenever they live in a vehicle that's really uncomfortable, that's pretty horrible for them.
And in terms of Pilates, I mean, how
Yeah.
many minutes a day should we be aiming for?
Well, I think that if you can look, we're all time restricted these days. And I think even if you just do 10 minutes a day is wonderful. But I think that if you can try and get yourself 30 minutes to 40 minutes 3 times a week would be fantastic. And I think that if you can also think about working the front of the body, the back of the body, the sides of the body, and also then trying to stretch out the main muscle groups so that you're creating space in your body, but you're also creating strength and length and alignment. And I also think about your form because there are some principles in Pilates which are all about alignment, focus, concentration, centering, relaxation. And all of that is just sort of like setting you up for success so that if you have everything aligned and then you focus on the movement and you have that mind body connection and you add the breathing in, you're going to build perfect movement. And building perfect movement is a really good step towards building a perfect and happy body.
And what's the difference in breathing between yoga and Pilates?
So yoga has many different types of breathing, and so it's called pranayama in yoga, which is a Sanskrit word. And the different types of yoga breathing are things to help you soothe your nervous system, to help you connect the right and left side of your brain, to help you with emotion, to help you with, like if you're emotionally eating, there's one called Nodi Shadana that is alternate nostril breathing, which I think we've done. And that helps to rebalance the right and left hemispheres of your brain just by alternating your nose breathing, which helps you if you're an emotional eater or if you're having an emotional time, it just takes you balances those and takes you back down into your body. There's also the box breathing. There's just so many different types of breathing in yoga that all have specific things that they do. But in Pilates breathing, we talk more about lateral breathing. So we're trying to access much more power because we have the lid, which is the diaphragm. We have the base, which is the pelvic floor. And then we have the transversus abdominis at the front and the multifidus at the spine at the back. And using the breathing helps to create power in that. So whenever we create power down here, then we're creating stability. And then we can move these appendages in our head much better. So the breathing is very different and it's used to create power in Pilates. You also will use the breathing in yoga for things like Ujjayi breathing, which creates heat, and that also creates power because we're looking at different locks in the body. So they're very different. They all have their place and they all have a huge amount of benefit. It just depends what you're aiming for, really.
All right. And what is the Pilates 100?
So the 100s is one of Joseph Pilates' exercises, and different people do it in different ways. But the most basic way of doing it is getting into the rest position, lying on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor, activating your core, and then and so you're basically going to be pumping your hands. So you imagine that you've got a little bouncy ball underneath one palm, just hovering above the floor, and you're just basically just bouncing your hands up and down. So you're going to be doing 5 bounces for the breath in, 5 bounces for the breath out. While you're doing that, you're still working your core and you're still breathing. So you're putting a few more layers into the activity. And that seems incredibly simple when I say it, but when you're actually trying to do it to start with, it's actually juggling quite a lot of balls. Then, whenever you get happy with that, we bring in different leg positions, okay, to make it a lot harder. So we're actually activating the core even more deeply, even more firmly. And so yeah, so it's one of the original Pilates exercises, and it's got a lot of really good uses. But I think what I'm going to be doing as well is bringing it into standing and bringing it into some 4-point kneeling, so that you can actually see other ways of using it. It's a really good exercise.
Do you
Lots
think we
of
could do
ball juggling.
a little video on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I reckon if you
it.
did it every day, that you would relax.
Well, absolutely, because what we also forget is that as we press down through our hands, we actually activate our core even more. And so that gentle movement is causing quite a lot of good stress on the body.
Excellent. And I have another question for you.
Sure.
Um, How do I know if exercise is helping me or making things worse when I start Pilates?
Okay. So, how do you feel? How's your discomfort level? Where are you feeling it? Okay. If you're going there for rehab and your problems are getting worse, you need to speak to your teacher. You also need to make sure that you're doing the form right. You want to be checking in with, are you more stiff in the morning whenever you get up? Are you waking up more at night? So these would be things, if you're more stiff in the morning, you're waking up more at night, you're getting more evening discomfort. I would say something's not working particularly well for you. But when you know that exercise is working well for you, your sleep's better, your mood's better, your energy's better, so you're less anxious, you're more relaxed, your body feels open. You feel whenever you're walking, you feel a lot more coordinated, stacked. Your movement feels a lot more flowing. Your clothes feel better. You look better. People say, "Don't you look well?" Your facial expression is different. You get in and out of a car better. You find functional tasks, activities of daily living much more easy. You can run up the stairs more easily. You can hang up your laundry much more easily. It's much easier to, reach out and hug your kid or you pick your child up. So, yeah, if everything generally in life is feeling better, everything's feeling easier, you're doing something right.
And you think Pilates, just literally doing 10 to 20 minutes of Pilates could have
Oh,
those positive changes?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I think absolutely, because if you are aligning your joints, stacking your pelvis, your ribs, all of your spine, head on top, creating length in your neck, allowing your shoulders to relax down, getting your core working, and then moving from there, everything is stacked and aligned. And it just means that if you think about your brain and all the nerves that come out of your brain down into your body, if everything is stacked and aligned, that superhighway of your spine, it's a clear channel, isn't
Yeah.
it? And so, and then if we create strength around that so it can stay nice and, well, obviously we have curves in our spine, but generally everything's nice and straight, then everything's going to feel an awful lot better. Our brain's going to work a lot better.
What even is Pilates?
So Pilates is it's a series of movements that were invented by a chap called Joseph Pilates back in the last century. And he used these different movements to help his body heal because he was a very weak and sickly child. And he tried these out on prisoner of war inmates whenever he was in a prisoner of war camp. And he then, whenever the war finished, he then came to America, went to New York, and ended up teaching a lot of dancers. And obviously, dancers need to have an awful lot of strength and flexibility. And so he honed his training and his teaching there. He then went on to teach many, many other normal people and lots and lots of teachers. Then different schools built up. There's a few different schools of Pilates. They're all absolutely fantastic, but they all just have their own different flavor. And the school that I learned with was the APPI, which is a physiotherapy based Pilates, because that fits in really well with the work that I do. So Pilates is mainly get your core working, get your breathing layered on top of it, be relaxed, be focused, be centered, concentrate, mind body connection. And then you do a series of different activities that exercise the front of the body, the back of the body, the sides of the body, in lying on your back, lying on your front, 4 point kneeling, standing, sitting. And it's about taking that concentration, that stability, and that flowing movement into every aspect of life. It's therapy for the body. It's medication for the body. I know that's how I look at Pilates because that's what it has done for me, and that's what it's done for a lot of my patients. But Pilates will change your life. It will change your body. It will give you a new body. It will help your body to feel 20 years younger. You will get the body that you want from doing Pilates consistently. Pilates is fun. It's incredibly safe. But like anything, find a teacher that you like and trust. Um, and Pilates is for absolutely everyone. And I don't know if you saw recently, but Ed Sheeran was saying that he started Reformer Pilates this year, and it's given him this incredibly strong, fit, and healthy body. And a lot of the football and rugby clubs now do Pilates, mat Pilates, and Reformer Pilates. So Pilates on the mat, but also Pilates on the machines. And dancers use Pilates to stay strong, to stay flexible, to help them with their training. most people who work to a very high level with their bodies now will be doing Pilates. So, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us,
So tell
I
us about
think.
the 14-day Pilates
Yeah.
beginners course you're going to do for us.
Yeah, so this came out of I've been saying to patients recently, get yourself into a Pilates class. Some people live so rurally that they can't access a Pilates class. Some people don't want to leave their home to go to a Pilates class. Some people just don't feel that they've got time to do an evening or a morning class. So I had a look on YouTube and I couldn't find anything that I was happy to send to any of my clients. And we had a bit of a chat and I thought, why not just do an incredibly good, safe, it might sound basic, but it's a very good beginner's Pilates 14-day challenge where we do a warm up day one, we do a cool down day two. So that gives you 10 minutes and 10 minutes. And then you can sandwich every other day in between that if you want. The Pilates challenge that we're going to do is going to be incredibly safe. So anyone who hasn't done any exercise before, you can jump in, you can feel safe. It's going to be good for you to do. Because I work as a physiotherapist, I will be making sure that your body is safe and that you feel safe, and it's going to be very, very clear and easy to understand. So yeah, that's kind of where that came from. But the aim is for people to feel more confident with exercising, people to find a really, really easy way of exercising, and people to find something that they can enjoy doing, and that then they might use it as a springboard to be able to go to class, because a lot of people are scared of going to classes. A lot of people don't want to be beginners, and sometimes when you start something new, you've just got to go, I'm a beginner, I don't know what I'm doing. So just relax, have a little bit of fun. That's what this is going to be all about, is clarity. We will have a few little short videos to watch over a cup of tea to start with, so that once we start, you can just jump straight in. And it's also going to be very reassuring that you don't need to know everything and you don't need to layer everything on. Basically, see monkey do, just come join in. And I'm going to make sure that you're aware of how you can take all these movements into your daily life so that you can make activities of daily living easier. You can run up the stairs more easily. You can put things in a cupboard more easily. How to get your body to work better for you.
Mm, fantastic. So I am hoping that after 14 days of doing this course, I'm literally going to fall in love with Pilates.
Well,
That is my intention for the 14.
yeah, and I think that even if you don't fall in love with Pilates, you might actually find that you fall in love with your body.
I'll find other ways
So
to do
that
that.
you, yeah. No, I think that, sorry, I've still got a cold. I think that what you'll find is you'll be amazed at how strong your body can get, how quickly your body can get strong, and how good your body can feel, and actually what your body can do for you, because we're so hard on these bodies, and actually we live in them. So let's learn to, treat them with a little bit more care and love them, because they are fantastic and they can do so much. So that's my aim, is to help you see actually what this can do for you.
Yes. So, in the spirit of the podcast that we listened to today, what would my 85-year-old self be telling me to do right now? What would
Oh,
you
jump
say?
on the Pilates
Yeah,
challenge, because
that's
your 85-year-old self needs you to be able to pick your shopping up, pull your
yeah,
pants up after you've been to the toilet, get in and out of bed, get out of bed,
yeah,
pick up your kitty cat. Yeah, your 85-year-old wants this body to be comfortable, because there's no joy in chronic pain, stiffness, and not being able to do what you want to do.
yeah.
Is there?
It would be nice to have a flat stomach in the sauna, not have to like suck it
Well, I tell
in the
you what, this will
shallow,
help you
very shallow
access those
now.
muscles.
Yeah,
It'll help you access those muscles so that you can walk in having connected them.
yeah, 'cause, like sucking your stomach in a sauna is not easy.
No, and honestly, whenever you think about sucking your stomach in, um,
Yeah, it's
it's not
terrible,
even.
isn't it? It's really
It's
bad
not.
for your
Well,
breathing.
yeah, it's bad for your digestion, but it's not even actually creating any sort of stability or strength there, is it? It's not doing anything positive.
Okay, so people can look forward to little mini lessons just to warm them up
Yeah,
parties and understand some of the core foundation.
yeah, yeah,
Then we kick off mid-January. And how long are
yeah.
the lessons going to be?
Well, they're going to be about 10 minutes, but you know what I'm like with my timekeeping. I am aiming for 10 minutes. And then that way we're going to have, first day is going to be warm up, second day is going to be cool down. And those are going to teach you some really nice, easy ways of opening your body up and preparing for activity. And then every other day after that's going to be about 10 minutes, so that you can put warm up, 10 minutes, cool down. or you can just do the activity that 10 minutes. Because the good thing about Pilates is we work through full range of movement, so your muscles will always be going through to their full length and contracting. Which is incredibly healthy for the body. So you can do 10 minutes every day, you can do 30 minutes every day, or you can just do the warm up and whatever time you've got, just, yeah. So it's going to be very, very clear, which is what I wanted was if you've got 30 minutes, do 30 minutes. If you've only got 10, do 10.
And there's going to be different days doing different parts of the body,
Absolutely.
neck
And
and
we're going to be
neck
progressing.
all together. Yeah,
Yes, we are
quite
going to be
nice.
progressing. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you very
Um,
much.
And just one last little thing for those that have done Pilates before and actually want to do the challenge, but think it might be a bit too easy for them. There is going to be a little video of me showing you how you can make the exercises a little bit harder for you. So, it's something in there for everyone. And I also think that if we've had a couple of weeks off over Christmas doing family stuff, driving maybe a little bit, it's quite nice to have 2 weeks of just easing yourself back into activity because we can be a bit gung ho coming back into the new year. And we don't need to be beasting these bodies at this age, do we? We need to be,
And we want to set ourselves up for success. And if we're going to adopt a
yeah,
habit, we have to do
yeah,
it really incrementally, small steps.
absolutely.
We don't
Yeah,
have that resistance. Can we do a little video on equipment, like what exactly,
yeah,
and particularly for the people who perhaps want to go a little bit harder,
yeah,
these resistance equipment,
yeah,
be like presumably it's weights to strap on your ankles, bands.
yeah. So you can use, yeah, we can,
We'll
we
do a little
can
video.
do a video
Okay,
on that. Yeah,
right, we'll do that.
yeah.
Get that out. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Bye everyone.